So I was really bad at this before, even though I had spent so much time in the work of authenticity and in the work of healing. I did not understand that I was not here to be a manifester. I am not here to initiate. I am here to wait to respond. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Kate Flynn, Human Design Emotional Generator. I am 2.5 years into my human design experiment and 15 years on the path of deconditioning, exploring authenticity, and healing from past traumas and experiences. I am not an expert in human design, nor am I a disciple of everything Ra ever said. I am, however, a big fan of the human design experiment. It's been completely life-changing for me, and I have integrated aspects of it, and most definitely the sacral response into the active deconditioning process that I guide and lead my clients through so that they can live their lives as their true selves and heal from those things that they have experienced. I bring the energy of enthusiasm for finding a better way to do things for the collective and a better way to decondition from the not self and heal is exactly what I have found. And today I'm going to share with you 5 tips for the human design generator, specifically for those of you that are new to your experiment. Tip number 1, jump right into living your experiment. Seems obvious, but typically one of 2 things happened the first time you saw your chart. 1, your mind was completely overwhelmed by all the information, all the moving pieces and parts, and quickly tried to opt out, saying, that looks really complicated, probably not for us. Or number 2, your mind said, whoa, this is amazing. We need to learn all of the things right now, and then we can implement what we've learned and start to live our design. So I'm inviting you to respond to a third option that says, I know the basics, I know my strategy and authority, I know I'm a generator, I'm going to take those things, I'm going to start my experiment, I'm going to observe what is true for me, the things that don't work, the things that do work, and I'm going to start to live my life according to those things. Because you will find that living your design is going to be way more beneficial than knowing or understanding your design. There's a lot you can do just with strategy and authority. And that brings us to tip number 2. Follow your strategy. As human design generators, we have open and enveloping auric fields. What does that mean? That means that life is coming to us. We do not have to try to make things happen or force things into being. All we have to do is wait. Then when something comes into our awareness, into our field, we get to respond, okay? So I was really bad at this before, even though I had spent so much time in the work of authenticity and in the work of healing. I did not understand that I was not here to be a manifester. I am not here to initiate. I am here to wait to respond. And just reading that and knowing that, I was able to go back in time and look at all the different experiences I had where I tried to force something into being, tried to initiate it, and what I found was it was always frustrating. And frustration is the not self signature for us human design generators. So that let me know, I was not feeling satisfaction. The self signature for generators, I was feeling frustrated. I wanted to make things happen, force things into being. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I couldn't do it. It just never went the way I wanted, and it was always fraught with frustration and this idea, this mental anguish of, why is life so hard? It looks easy for these people out here. Why is it so hard for me? So wait for things to come into your awareness, wait for things to respond to, and observe what happens. Does that waiting increase your levels of satisfaction? Does it increase your levels of frustration? And make notes along the way. Today, I tried to initiate X, and this is what happened. This is what I felt. Today, I decided, okay, I really want this thing to happen. I want to initiate, but I'm going to wait. I waited, and this was the result of my waiting. Tip number 3. Make decisions according to your inner authority. As a generator, there are two options for your authority. One, you're pure sacral and you get that in the moment, yes, no, you feel this opening, you feel this closing. You know exactly what you want to do in response to whatever has come to you in the moment. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the other option for your authority is emotional authority. And that's what I have. And that means another level of waiting. First, we have to wait to respond. And then as an emotional authority person, we have to wait to ride out our emotional waves, look for places of neutrality where we're not super excited about something, we're not super low in our wave, but we're in a really good even ground spot and we feel confident that we can make decisions according to what our sacral response says when we check in it multiple times over time throughout the course of our wave. At first, this may add to your level of frustration because I think it is often said, and it is true for me, that all generators think they're manifestors and want to make things happen. So first you find out you have to wait to respond and it's like, oh. And then if you're emotional, you find out you have to wait to come to neutrality, some kind of even ground before you can really trust your sacral response. And it's like, ooh, double ooh. Over time, and as you see the results, you see your feelings of satisfaction start to rise. You feel the pressure you put on yourself to know and do and create and force things into being. That starts to alleviate and you start to feel like you're allowed to be for maybe the first time. That was probably true for me. It was like, oh, I don't have to make these happen. I mean, I used to teach intuition. I used to think that, I still teach intuition, but I used to think that I was supposed to know immediately in the moment, what did I want to do? And it's been so freeing to understand that I don't have to, that I can say in response to whatever comes into my field, you know, I'm going to sit with that for a minute and I will let you know, oh, wow, that sounds really great. Let me sleep on it. It's amazing. And you know, if you're new into your design, you've probably read about them all, and maybe you're a little jealous about one or the other. Over time, and as you sink into the uniqueness of you, you're going to come to love and appreciate all of those things that maybe in the beginning you saw as limitation, but now you see more and more like your superpowers. Please, if you are enjoying this information, if you're finding it helpful, like, subscribe, comment, share this content, because as an emotional generator, I've been trying to force myself to adhere to the algorithm gods and put out content regularly. And you know, it just doesn't always feel correct for me. I don't always have the sacral response, the energy present in the moment to do those things. So asking for a little help. And if you're really digging the content, then feel free to buy me a coffee. I'll put that link in the description below. That helps fuel my endeavors and allows me to keep sharing this free content with anyone who responds to it. Tip number 4, start to actively transition your power, your awareness from your mind, from your thinking thoughts, and pull it back into your physical body. Right? Because one, all those thinking thoughts consume so much of the energy available to us to create our lives. They separate us from that sacral response, from the knowing of our bodies. When you first read about that, you're probably like, what? There's this sacral motor and I'm supposed to feel an aha or an or an opening or closing or however it feels to you. And when you live in your mind all the time, which has probably made you really good at adulting, at conforming, at being as you are supposed to be according to societal and cultural norms and maybe pressures from your family and loved ones, you've probably created a lot of space and maybe even disconnected from the knowing of your body. But all is not lost. You can intentionally start to reclaim that power. And it may be as simple as you see your mind going on this roller coaster of all the things and everything that could go wrong. You start to recognize it. And instead of just saying, stop thinking about that, you can actually turn it into a visualization or an imagination where you pull the plug and you let all that energy drain back from your thoughts into your body, right? At night, you can replay your day and you can notice and observe frustration, satisfaction. Did I wait? Did I not wait? And you can say, okay, every time I made a decision from a not self place, every time I tried to force something into being or initiate, or I said yes to things I meant no to, whatever it was, you can reclaim that power. And just imagine it like, maybe you're a superhero and you're calling it all back to you and it's, coming like lightning flow or whatever it is. There is energy behind your intention. So do whatever feels correct to you and actively start to reclaim that energy and shift the power from your thoughts to the knowing of your body. The first time you do it, you may be like, oh, I'm making this up. This is crazy. And then the 10th time you do it, you're going to start to feel like, oh, that's what she was talking about. I'm starting to get it now. I'm in my body. You'll also notice that this process is very grounding. Very, very grounding. It brings you literally into your body. And when we are in our bodies, we make better choices. We respond more authentically. Tip number 5, allow others to say no. Create a safe place for them to say no. No, it's not like you are responsible for the decisions of another person. But as generators, we need to understand that that sacral motor is so powerful. It's a little more easy for us to pull. It's a little easier for us to pull on the auric fields of others, to try to make them do the things that we want, try to manipulate them into making choices that are going to be maybe very beneficial for ourselves, but to their detriment. So let people say no. Stop pulling on their auric field. Stop trying to manipulate their choices or decisions. None of us probably want to admit that we do this, but we do. I know that I have done it before I had this vernacular and these words and the framework to understand what was going on. I would be like in my head, this is what I really want. And I would be reaching out into their auric fields and trying to make it happen, even if I wasn't consciously aware. Now I understand that that is what most assuredly was happening. And I can feel it when other people do it to me. For real, I can totally feel it. Live the experiment. Make your observations. Notice what is true for you. Wow, when I stopped forcing my way through, life felt, the stress levels decreased and I felt like I had more breathing room. What brings frustration? What signals that you are moving in the realms of the not self versus what things make you feel satisfied? Because the bottom line is this thing is to be lived. You can have all the knowing, you can be in your experiment for 7 years, but if you have not learned to wait to respond and make decisions according to your authority, sacral authority or emotional authority, then what's the point? Thank you for tuning in. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season. And I even think that now's pretty darn good timing for when this video came out, because these are things that could change and shift your experience throughout the holidays, hopefully in a way that makes them more enjoyable.